Hi everyone, my name is Sebastien Lagree, creator of Lagree Fitness and the Megaformer. So today I want to talk about the Mini Pro. Very anticipated machine since I've been talking about it for the last 2 years. So the Mini Pro is on its way. Okay, you can start to pre-order now. I want to go quickly over the main features of the Mini Pro. So you've probably heard me talk about the Mini, and I will bring a Mini in a moment so you can compare the two machines together. The Mini Pro is essentially a longer Mini. It's the same width, about 27 inches when you consider the side handles, 24 inches otherwise for the platform width and the carriage. It's 103 inches long for the Mini when you look from the platform, from the front of the platform to the back of the rail, okay, not including the platform. So about 103 inches for the Mini, what we call the Mini number 1. But if you add the rear platform, then the length jumps to 117 inches. So 117 inches long, we are now only about 5 inches shorter than the Mega. So the length of a Mini Pro with a 2 platform on both ends is very close to a full-size Mega. And we will do a comparison between the Mini Pro and the Mega as well in a different video. So let's talk about the Mini Pro for 4 minutes. So the Mini Pro, just like the Mini, same width, a little longer. The biggest difference between a Mini Pro and a Mini is really the carriage, because everything else is identical. So the carriage is longer, and this is the reason why I made it, because for the Mini, I wanted to make something that was a little bit bigger than the Micro, because I know some people expressed concern that the platform was maybe too small, so they wanted a bigger platform so they could feel more stable. The carriage was also too small. They wanted to do more sitting and kneeling exercise. They also wanted to do cable exercise. That was a big thing when the Micro came out. A lot of people were trying to accessorize the Micro to make it move and act like a Mega, but the Micro was never meant to do that. So now we have actually pulleys coming for the Micros. But the problem is the Micro has a relatively small carriage. So the Mini has a bigger carriage. You can sit on it, you can kneel on it, you can do pretty much all the kneeling exercise, sitting exercise on the carriage. But if you're 6'4" like me, you will not be able to lay flat on your back on the Mini. On the Mini Pro, no problem. I'm 6'4", I can lay on my back on the carriage. So the carriage of the Mini Pro is very much a full-size carriage like you would find on the Mega. The travel distance of the carriage is also identical to the Megas. So we have the same length carriage, same length, basically, travel distance. The Mini Pro would be a good alternative if you guys want to open a studio out there. The Mini Pro is a good alternative to the Mega if you want that. It's not going to have the same cache, same cachet, the same flair as the Mega, the OG, but you will be able to do every exercise. Matter of fact, the Mini Pro, when it's laying flat on the ground like this, not when it's elevated, when it's laying flat on the ground, you can do every micro exercise, every mini exercise, almost every Mega exercise on the Mini Pro. The Mini Pro is the most versatile fitness machine I have ever built to date. So you can do pretty much everything, anything on that. On the Micro, we have about 800 exercises just for the Micro alone. The Mini Pro, well over 1,000, definitely. You will never get bored of the Mini Pro. Just like on the Micro, you'll always be discovering new movements. When we sell the Mini Pro, we sell it exactly the same way we sell the Mini or the Micro. I know it's been confusing for you guys out there because there's a lot of options, but I really don't know how else to present it to you. We have the base, the platform, and the carriage. So that's going to be $29.90, so $10 short of $3,000, right? And that will also include these cables over here, right? So that will come with the purchase. Then you decide if you want to add more. So what else can you add? You can add the rear platform. That's going to be an extra $4.90. And then you can also add the side handles. These side handles, you can add them on the front, and you can also add them on the back. I don't have them on the back today. When you have all of the platforms, all of the handles, just like for the Mini and the Micro, we call this the Mini Pro number 5. This is called Mini Pro number 4. Why? Because it has one rear platform attached to it, and it's got a set of handles. The fact that handles are on the front doesn't make it a 4 or 5, okay? Just those handles can also be on the back. I know on the website we say front handle, back handles, because we keep getting questions, which one the front handle, back handles. There's the same handle. People are somehow convinced that there's a difference, so we put front and back. The handles are the same, so don't worry about that. Just like for the Mini, we're going to have 5 springs. We're going to have one white spring, one black, 2 gray, and a red spring, okay? The springs are the same as the Mini and the Micro. So if you have a white spring on your Micro, it's going to be the same white spring on the Mini and the Mini Pro. We're not changing the springs themselves, okay? So the white spring is your super light, your black spring is your light spring, The two gray spring are your medium spring, and the red spring is your heavy spring. Now let's talk about the platform on the carriage. So instead of just making the carriage longer, I also wanted to try a new feature. I've never done this before. So there's two new features really on the Mini and the Mini Pro. One, of course, and you've probably seen that already, is that adjustable platform. This is fantastic. This is amazing. This is a feature that is working so well that it will be implemented with the M4. Already working on the retrofittable platform for the Megaformer, the M3 series. It's fantastic. These angles really allow you to target so many different muscles. When you do each exercise using the platform at a different angle, you literally hit the muscles completely differently. It's amazing. I'm very excited for people to try this, especially for the at-home fitness professionals. You know, for those guys or the fitness athletes, people who work out and they have the private training room in the garage or whatever. You guys are going to love all the functionality of this machine. This is really amazing. It's also a phenomenal machine to do personal training for your friends. So great machine. The platform that pivots, man, this is a game changer right there. And it's super easy to use. Like you see, you just basically select your position and then it automatically locks on this. This feature right over here, that's called, I don't really have quite a name for it yet, but that's the platform, the carriage platform basically. Super easy to use, right? You lift it up and then you secure the latch, pushing down, and now you have this angle right there. When both platforms are the same angle, the first position of the pivot, it's about a 15-degree angle. That's the same position that we have on the carriage. So when both platforms are up, you create kind of a V position. This gives your ankles so much support. So when you do skating, standing in the thighs, out of thighs, runner's lunge, all this exercise, right? You feel the muscle so much more. And the skating, it grabs your glutes like nothing else. It's an amazing, I think that a lot of people are going to be very happy to buy this machine just for the skating, because the skating is amazing. The way it grabs your glutes, it's freaking amazing. I love it. But you can also do more with that platform instead of doing leg exercise. Like one thing you can do, for example, you can actually use this when you do movement, like for example, icebreaker, right? So for an icebreaker, most people would actually put their knees on the carriage, the feet against the bar, right? And then go into the icebreaker. But if you're a little shorter and you can't really reach to the back of the carriage, you can actually lift up the platform, move your knees on that platform, and this gives your knees such a great support. So now I can actually use this for this exercise. And right there, it just feels amazing. I feel a level of support. Great. Don't feel anything in my knees, nothing in the wrists or elbows. Really amazing, amazing exercise. On the back end, you have your rear platform, and the rear platform also pivots, just like for the Mini. What are the benefits of this? Well, you can do reverse catfish. You can do your reverse leg curls, where you put your feet on the bar and you lay flat on your back on the carriage. Lat pull down, and tons of exercise you can do with the platform up at different position again. There you go. Just like for the Mini, you have your cables, and your cables have 3 different lengths. You have the full length, then you have the medium length, and then you have a short length. So you decide, how long you want the cable to be. And if for whatever reason the cable is still too short, you can always purchase other extension strap, and you can add them, and you can create literally you can have this cable as long as you want. If you want a 20-foot cable, you keep adding extension straps, and then there you have it. Here's basically the quick introduction to the Mini, so you guys can see a little bit how the difference is, with the length. The Mini and the Mini Pro are definitely a machine that you don't want to move around. Very different from the Micro. The Micro is a machine that you can literally store underneath your bed, in the closet. You can even hang it on the wall, no problem. The Mini and Mini Pro, you won't be able to do this. They're very heavy machines. We do have wheels, so you can actually wheel the machine around, but this is not a machine that you're going to, for each workout, you're going to bring out of the closet, bring it to the floor. You're not going to get tired of that. So the Mini and the Mini Pro, they do need, or they do require a dedicated space.